Hello everyone. So if you're thinking about teaching in China for the year like me, then there's certain things you must think about. Interestingly, very important too, because how do you keep your students actively engaged in your lessons to make sure they're happy with your teaching? And how could you differentiate yourself from other existing Chinese teachers out there teaching in China? Well, here are a few pointers I'd like to point out, which I use during my lessons. I think that's very, very helpful. One thing I like to do with my students is getting them involved in active discussions, because for one, you can find out about their point of views, and also getting them engaged in current topics by getting them into groups and speak with each other. This could also help them with their team building skills. It isn't always useful to just do writing or copying or doing oral exercises. It is also actually good to show them visual contents. Make use of your online resources such as YouTube and Vimeo, which are great platforms because it allows you to better illustrate your complex concepts, procedures, and different ideas. I like to show different channels because it can give a new insight for students and for them to learn. Why not get your students to actively engage and participate in different types of games as a warm-up to your lesson or ending to your lesson? For example, I always like to get my students to play games like Chinese Whispers.
Okay, make sure to spread it to the right end.
Stop and where she shines. How can a can in a clean can?
Willis is very.
Ice cream, use cream. We all use cream for our ice cream.
Depending on your topics for the week, what I also like to do is, for example, while I'm teaching about particular objectives or particular actions or emotions, I like to get my students to come up and actually do those actions, trying to get the other students actively engaged to guess what certain types of emotions are. And another way to get your students really involved and interested in your lessons is, for example, on one week I did a theme on mystical creatures, and I got my students to actually come up to draw those types of creatures. It's similar sort of thing as hangman. I find that Chinese students tend to have a competitive edge. This gives them an advantage, such as offering little types of prizes or awards at the end.
What about this? So what could it be? What could it be? Not surprised. What could it be?
It's a really great thing because you get to not only find more about them, but also help them in their learning through a fun perspective. So I hope everyone will have a different way of teaching and different way of engaging with your students.